little candle holder that I think my eldest son made at a Messy church here locally, and also a candle that we had as one of our activities. I don't know whether you've ever done wax transfers onto candles. It's a really lovely thing to do. So I'm just going to light that. I'm afraid I'm not as brave as other people and I don't have matches, so I've got one of these silly safety things so it doesn't make such a nice noise. But there we go. So our candle is lit as we begin. I'm just going to pop that somewhere safe. I just thought as we pray together, as we start, it would be nice. I thought I'd share with you a prayer from the BRF prayer diary. We produce a prayer diary that some of you might receive. This is the one that runs from May through to September. And last week in the prayer diary, everybody who received this was praying for Messy Church, praying for you, praying for us and the work we do at BRF. But the prayer that went with it was really lovely, so I thought I'd share that with you this morning. Loving Father, may all our experiences, conversations and thoughts be seasoned with salt, be full of grace, be alive with hope, so that the things of this earth might begin to taste of heaven. Through Christ our Lord. Amen. So, talking of weather, it was foul at the weekend, wasn't it? I'm sure some of you might have seen pictures on Facebook that we shared of that Messy church in Shropshire that braved the rain to get together and celebrate Pentecost. And as Jane rightly said, there's no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothes. But I can tell you, on Saturday morning, as we were preparing to launch into the Messtival, we were all quite glad that it was an online virtual festival and we weren't in a muddy field in our wellies. As you can see, I've still got my bunting up. I haven't had to take down a tent and dry everything out, so we were very pleased that it was online. However, being online brings its own challenges, and we're aware that there were some technical difficulties at the beginning, and some people had trouble joining us. So if you were affected by that, we're really sorry, and we hope you managed to get in a little later on. But as you might have seen in the news later on that day, that Glastonbury had similar difficulties with their live streamed concerts in the evening. So clearly we were in good festival company. We've had lots of messages and we're just really grateful, and thank you for being so gracious and for bearing with us. If you did come along, you probably would have got an email after the event asking for some feedback, and if you haven't had a chance to let us know what you thought of it, that we'd love you to complete that. It's really helpful. We have had already some lovely feedback in. People said that it was encouraging, uplifting and inspiring, and somebody said that it was a really nice way for us to keep us connected. One of my favourite ones that I read was somebody that said, "This was my first experience of a Messy church event as a relatively new leader. I have come away with loads of ideas and plenty of enthusiasm. I can't wait to get back to face-to-face meetings again and use what I have learned." So it was really, really wonderful to hear that it was helpful to people. So were you there? Pop in a chat if you were able to join us at the weekend. What did you think? Should we do it again? Do you think it should be an annual thing that we have a go at? It would be great to hear what you got out of it. Perhaps you can share your experience. I know at the end of the morning, Kathy and Vicky invited people to share where they'd seen God at work in the morning. So do pop in the chat if you were there and what your experience of it was. And if we are to do it again, and actually a lot of the feedback that's been submitted so far online has suggested that people would really like us to do it again next year, what topics would you like to see us cover? We had 22 different missions for people to book onto, and I know you could only choose 3, and if you're like me, making decisions and cutting down from 22 to 3 was probably a really difficult choice. So amongst the range of things that were on offer before, if we were to do it again, was there something missing from what we did on Saturday that you would like to see us cover in the future? And I think Lucy's pop there, we had nearly 40 people involved in the leadership of each of those missions, which was really great. And it would be really interesting to hear from you guys whether you know anybody who could lead something like that, a workshop or a mission in the future. It's a really great opportunity to give leaders in our Messy Church network a chance to shine. It enables people to grow in confidence, to show their leadership, and to share their God-given talents with others. Lots of you would probably have read the research into discipleship in the Voyage of Discovery report. You can read that and download it from our website on the Deepening Discipleship page. And one of the approaches that was covered in there was around maturing teams. So it's about leaders of a Messy Church deliberately making time in their planning meetings and other team times, making it reflective, and to have really making their discipleship discussions take precedence sometimes over some of their practical discussions. It's an approach that's really well suited to teams that are just starting up or actually restarting, which is the position so many of us are in at the moment. So the aim really is for each member of the team to build them up, to make them walk more confidently with Jesus as they lead their Messy Church, and then as a result they're able to lead more effectively and purposefully. So if we were to run Messtival again in the future, do you know anybody who would benefit from the opportunity to lead a mission? Feel free to contact Lucy or I direct with your suggestions. So we've packed away after the Messtival. I'll probably have to take down my bunting later on today, and it's kind of sad. You kind of have that post-event slump, don't you? But there's no time for us to rest, and we're very much looking forward to the international conference that will be taking place in May next year. We'll be taking over the Haynes Conference Centre in Swanwick. And for anybody that doesn't know, that's in the lovely Derbyshire countryside, which both Lucy and I can vouch for, as we live Lucy's in Derbyshire and I'm right on the border here in Nottinghamshire, and it is a really, really beautiful part of the country. So there'll be lots of places for you to go off and explore if you were to come to that. We're delighted to say that Dr. Paula Gooder is going to be our keynote speaker across the 3 days. And for any of you, perhaps our international friends who might not have heard of Paula, she's a really great speaker. We'll share a link to her bio in the chat, and we'll also share it on the conference page when we open the bookings. But she's really passionate about supporting people in their enthusiasm for reading the Bible, and she's really great at presenting it in an accessible and interesting way. She's currently the Chancellor of St Paul's Cathedral in London. She's a New Testament scholar, particular interest in St Paul's letters, and we've asked her to speak to us about how Messy Church is both similar and different to the early church. Paula's husband is a vicar and has been involved with leading Messy Church, so she's got hands-on experience. So as Jane said, she's so cool. So we hope that she'll be a really inspiring person for you to come and hear from. Another big development, if you've been with us for conferences before, is this time we're planning the programme with leaders of all ages in mind. Last Thursday, Lucy and I had a day of meetings with the team involved in planning the conference, which started at 7 o'clock in the morning and didn't finish until 8 o'clock at night, to take into account all the different time zones of our global team. But it was really great to be joined by Dylan, Jonathan and Cameron in the evening meeting. If you were at the Messtival at the weekend, you might have met them, and they're the young men that set up our young leaders Zooms in lockdown. just while we're on that subject, the next one of those is on the 12th of June. And if you have any younger leaders on your team, do send them the details and encourage them to come along. Dylan, Cameron and Jonathan are making sure that we plan in our planning for the conference, making sure that it's fun, relevant and accessible to everyone genuinely interested in making their messy church even better. So across the 3 days of the conference, there will be great food, 3 talks from Paula, cake, workshops, more food, time for reflection, more cake, messy sessions, messy church sessions, and oh, did I mention the great food? This will be my first conference, and I've been told that the food is great and there's plenty of it. I mean, let's face it, food is a major part of all things messy church, isn't it? We're in the process of gathering ideas for the workshops at the conference. So again, if you have any suggestions, do please pop them in the chat or email them to us. Have an ask around your teams and your local networks for ideas for what workshops would be most helpful to you. Obviously, it would be wrong not to acknowledge the uncertainty around planning such a big event that will bring lots of people together physically. In talking to the leaders last week, there's lots of enthusiasm around the international team to gather together. And although we've got used to doing things online and virtually, occasionally it's good to be in the same physical space. Jane Butler shared some photos on Facebook just a couple of weeks ago of the last conference back in 2019. And it was really lovely to read all the comments from all the different messy church leaders from around the world, sharing their happy memories of meeting and making lifelong friends. So in the meantime, we'll have to do with making virtual online friends, which is what this community is all about. When I did my first Facebook Live back in January, I didn't really know very many people, and I've in the network, and I've met lots of our international leaders on Zoom, as well as our wonderful support team members who have been so welcoming. Just noticed Karis's name pop up in the chat, who's a member of our Pool of Wisdom team, who helped us put together the Messtival at the weekend, and we just couldn't manage without them. Our training team are currently busy delivering masterclasses to help equip the network. And while we're talking about support teams, as we said a bit at the beginning, perhaps you or someone you know might have something to offer the support teams. Please do have a read all about them on our website, and contact me if you're interested, if you want to have a chat about joining us. There may well be a couple of extra teams that we'll be adding into that. We're looking at creating an urban messy church support team, so to support those messy churches specifically in urban areas. And also you may have heard us talk about Messy Church Goes Wild, and it's likely that we'll have a support team to support that project which we'll be working on over the next couple of years. So if you've got experience of working in an urban setting, or you've got a heart for all things environmental and eco, then do please get in touch. I think Lucy's already popped my email address in the chat, and it would be wonderful to hear from you. I'm just going to take a sip, my mouth is very dry. And so we've also got this phenomenal online community built up through Facebook, which is great. Oh, Martin's just popped out. That does remind me as well, as part of the Messtival, there was the Great Big Messy Church, which is still available for you to watch. It's a celebration of Pentecost, and it features Martin's wonderful creative storytelling, and some fabulous rocket prayers. So that is still available for you to watch on YouTube. And there's a link underneath the video to a form you complete to let us know how many people you know watched it. We're hoping that it will it be the biggest Messy church ever. It's had over 400 views when I looked yesterday evening when I was preparing for today. So Lucy's just put the link in the chat there. So feel free to have a look at that. And I know Pentecost is gone, but stash it away somewhere safe, and you can use that next year as well, and in years to come. In terms of the Facebook Live, it's been wonderful to be here. I'm usually here on a Wednesday morning, supporting whoever's leading the Facebook Live, and you do get to see familiar names popping up in the chat week after week, which is really lovely. And for me, it was a particular joy at the weekend as people were dialing into the Messtival. I'm just looking through the comments. Yes, Karen is with us this morning. So Karen Usher is a name that pops up without fail every Wednesday morning. And Tiz, whose name has just popped up as well, from Hampshire. But it was a real joy to be able to meet Karen sort of in person at the Messtival and to put a face to that name. And we're really fortunate to have you with us. In terms of Facebook Live, we're going to carry on with these weekly until August, and then we're going to have a bit of a holiday, and then we're thinking we'll probably return once a month from September. But thank you for being with us over the last, well, it's more than a year now, every week. We won't, if there's anything particular we want to be talking about or any particular events and festivals will pop up as and when, but we'll go to once a month from September. So I didn't even know how long this was going to last. It's really difficult to write things and time them. But as we approach the end of our time together this morning, I wanted to leave you with a picture of kind of the theme that's been running through everything that I've been talking to you about this morning, and that's about community. And people here will know, my friends from my local Messy church will know that part of the appeal, or why I love Messy church so much, is because I need my hands occupied. I learn kinesthetically. I like to play with things. I like pictures. I like images. And I wanted to leave you with something that help you picture the wonderful Messy community that I feel so blessed to be part of. So I was reading around, and in 1 Peter 2, Peter tells us that Jesus is the living stone, the source of life. The workman took one look at it and threw it out, but God set it in a place of honour. And we are instructed to present ourselves as building stones for the construction of a sanctuary vibrant with life, in which you'll serve as holy priests, offering Christ-approved lives up to God. Peter then goes on to refer to Isaiah, which says, everything will be built on this important and precious rock. Anyone who trusts in him will never be disappointed. So the image that sort of came to mind to me was of a dry stone wall where there are lots of different shapes, stones that all seem to get formed together to create this wall that's really strong. And I've never seen, I would love to watch somebody make one, because it blows my mind the way that they construct it all together. I don't have any stones with me this morning. I'm not going to attempt to build a dry stone wall with you, but what I have got lots of in this house as the mother of 2 boys, but I know lots of girls love them too, and I did when I was small, is I've got Lego bricks here. So I've got different size ones. I've got a blue Lego base, I've got this sort of size, I've got a small one here, I've got this one which is an interesting shape. They're all different sizes, different shapes, different colours, even different ages. I think a lot of the red bricks in our big Lego tub belonged to my brother and I when we were children. and some of the newer bits, stuff like this. We never had this cool kind of watery looking Lego when I was small, have come out of Lego kits that I've bought for my boys over the last year. Last 14 years I've been buying Lego for them. All the Lego bricks in a set, if you buy a particular kit, are vital. They're all part of a bigger picture. And I was trying to come up with an analogy for building and what we have at Messy Church, and I built this lighthouse yesterday. There's lots of debate, and I'm not going to make it as a master builder. I'm sure other people could do better, and there was lots of debate over the roof. My husband was trying to tell me it looks like some kind of Japanese temple with my first attempt, but I did use it to make a lighthouse. I've always loved the analogy of Jesus as a lighthouse anyway, but I just wanted to leave you with the image that Messy Church, as the reading said, we're invited to make a construction that's vibrant with life. And I think that really is what Messy Church is. It's a construction that is hospitable and celebratory, and all of you make it that. And it's a place where all different kinds of bricks fit together, and most of all, it is built on the firm foundation of Jesus, of this precious stone at the bottom. So that's me done. I've given you the gift of 7 minutes back in your day. I'm really grateful to, hi Jocelyn's just joining us, never too late to be with us, and thank you Jean. Yes, Jesus is indeed light for the world. So thank you so much for being with us this morning and being with us every Wednesday, and if you're late, don't worry, I'll be back again this evening at 8 p.m. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a really great Wednesday and the rest of your week. Thank you.